Book 3, Chapter 7, Admiration. It is Friday. I am excited about game night. Baxter is visiting for the first time, and Sir Charles and Limerick will be together once again. My mum is busy in the kitchen when I go in to have breakfast. "Look, Finn, I have toast fingers," Tiernan calls out as I take my chair beside him. "Toast fingers! You're going to turn into a toast finger, you eat so many of them." I ruffle his hair and he smiles as he takes his next bite. My sister Paige is looking more and more mature these days. She has a style all of her own, and she is setting the stage for others to want to dress like her, though she doesn't really want to be noticed or followed. But I suppose it is a compliment when others like what you do so much that they imitate you. My mom suggests that we stop to ask Sir to walk with us on our way home from school. I say I would do that, and that Baxter could walk with us as well, but would also need a ride home when we take Charles and Limerick home. "Your dad is really looking forward to tonight, Finnan. He enjoys your friends and would like to give Sir the gift he made." I sit quietly. I ponder if Sir will be giving my dad his gift tonight. It fascinates me to think the two found each other after all these years, and all the years their fathers' were apart. "Mum, do you think we'll always be together as a family?" I ask as I pour the cereal into my bowl. My mum looks at me with concern. "What do you mean, Finn?" "Baxter's family is separating, and his dad will be moving to another home. I was just wondering, if that happened with our family, would we still be family if we weren't together?" I can't remember the last time I had seen my mum look so concerned. She pulls up a chair beside me as I pour the milk on my cereal. She places her hand below my chin, turns my head towards her. "Finnan, it is my promise to you that we will always be a family, one united together. If there ever comes a time when circumstances pull us apart, we will still be family, and together deep within our hearts." "Mum, I was just asking. You look so upset." "Finnan, I never want you to think that we will be apart, for life takes us on adventures. One day you will move away when you go to college or university. One day Paige will make her way and move out of our home. And one day Tiernan will grow up to want a family of his own. All our adventures will take us apart from each other, but never," and she looks directly into my eyes, "never will we be apart in love." Tiernan, with a content look after eating his toast, pipes up to remark, "I don't like girls. I won't have a family." Mum and I look at each other. Our conversation has been so intense that we've forgotten he is there to hear. My mum stands up and kisses the top of my head. She goes over to Tiernan and kisses the top of his. Then she makes her way around the table to Paige, and she kisses her head as well. I know all my babies will leave the nest one day, a day that I am not looking forward to. But my heart knows that when you are ready to leave, you will walk your journey, and all I can wish for is your happiness. We sit quiet, thinking about the day when we move out of the nest, as my mum called it. There is a heavy feeling around the table until my sister says, "I can't wait to move. I want to go to New York and be a designer." My mum looks at her with a wink and says, "The world will be a better place with your creativity." My sister is proud. "Will I be able to have her room?" I ask, knowing her room is bigger. "Finnan, she hasn't jumped out of the nest yet. We still have a few years to go." Paige, with love, sticks her tongue out at me as if to say, "I am older, and as long as I am here, I get the best room." Off to school I go, pondering the morning conversation, thinking about Baxter and his family, when I realize that we all at some time must leave home, that families separate with time. I guess for Baxter's family, it is sooner rather than later. I will make sure that I am here for Baxter and be a good friend. I will listen when he speaks with me. As the end of the school day nears, we are excited to be walking home together. Will we get to walk Skye and Hemingway? Baxter asks. It looks really fun to have a cat on your shoulder. You are so tall, Baxter. I'm not sure if Hemingway will sit on your shoulder, but we can try. You do have broader shoulders than me, so perhaps you will really enjoy the view. Hemingway has been walking along beside Skye Charles lately, but perhaps today he will let you walk him. I smile at Baxter. He has a relaxed look on his face. The bell rings and we gather our belongings for the weekend. As we stand from our desks, Mr. Willis asks us to have a good weekend. We're going to my house to play a game of improv. It's family game night, and we chose that, I announce. Mr. Willis looks very pleased to know we enjoyed the activity so much that we will be sharing with others. The game is especially fun if you serve popcorn, he says with a chuckle. We have popcorn, and it's pizza night. Baxter is eager to get moving. Mr. Willis looks at him and asks, will you be going to Finn's house? Yes, sir, I am, along with Limerick and Charles. Sounds like a great night. Enjoy. We all gather at the gate and start to walk in the direction of home. I'm going to drop my books off when we walk by my house, Limerick says with a cheerful voice and a smile. My mum wants us to stop and ask Sir if he would like to walk with us. How old is Sir? Baxter asks curiously. I'm not sure, but I do know he is old enough to have many stories from his travels around the world. He is full of wisdom and is great with sharing stories of animals and wildlife too. You're really going to like him. And Baxter, there is no need to be shy. Off we go, Limerick and Charles in front, Baxter and I behind. Here is Sir's house, I announce as we approach it. That must be him sitting on the porch, Baxter adds. It is, I reply, and I raise my arm to let him know that we are here. Sir stands up, and from where we are standing, you can tell he has on a very nice suit. It isn't too fancy, but he sure is well dressed. We walk up his laneway together. Hello, great writer, he says as he looks at Charles. Hello, sir. Hello, pretty lady, he speaks as he tips his hat to Limerick. Limerick giggles as she responds with a brief curtsy. And you, my good man, you must be the famous Baxter I've been hearing so much about. Baxter turns red. You can tell he feels important. It is very nice to meet you, sir, he says, nodding as if he's offered this greeting 100 times before. To Sir, I ask, would you like to walk home with us now, or would you like us to come back later when we walk our circus? He ponders my question, then answers with another. Do you think your mom would need help in the kitchen? I'm not sure, but I do know that my mom would love to have you visit early. She asked me to stop in here on my way home. Well then, Finn, we must not keep a lady waiting. Let me get my coat. As smoke trickles up from his pipe, you can see that twinkle in his eye. It is a true twinkle. We wait for Sir to return, then we start off walking again. Charles and Limerick go on ahead to drop off Limerick's books while Baxter, Sir, and I walk slowly behind, speaking in light conversation. Baxter, you are a fine young man. What are your plans for the future? Baxter looks deeply at the ground, then he sort of just stops in his tracks. When he looks up at us, he says, I have a few ideas of what I would like to do, but my heart would like to work with children." Sir and I look puzzled, for the answer has taken us back. "You like children?" Sir asks. "I think I would like to be a public school teacher, like Mr. Willis. He is really fun, and I feel he has given me the confidence to know I can be a great teacher." "I think you would make a fine teacher," Sir says as he places his hand on his shoulder. The two are about the same height. I must say, I don't feel very tall at the moment. Perhaps I should start to carry along Tiernan's step stool. When we arrive at the house, Baxter is quiet. He looks reluctant. Sir notices this and asks him what the trouble is. "I'm really shy, sir. Shy to meet Finn's family." "Well, son," he says with a soft grin, "maybe think of it as meeting new friends, and it will seem easier. Take a deep breath because Finn's mother is very pretty and you don't want to stutter." Baxter and I start laughing at the thought of him having a crush on my mom, though it has happened before with Charles. Just then, my mom comes out of the front door to greet us. She looks happy that we are all together. "Charles and Limerick are in the kitchen with Tiernan and Paige. Please come in. Baxter, this is my mom." My mom reaches out her hand to shake his. To our surprise, Baxter tips his head like he is wearing a hat and says, "It is a great pleasure to meet you. You are very pretty." My mom blushes, and when Sir follows with his hand and a kiss on her cheek, she is glowing from all the attention. Mom looks at me as if to say, "Thank you for bringing these fine gentlemen home with you." I smile at my mom, and she kisses the top of my head. We enter the doorway, go down the hall and into the kitchen, where everyone is sitting around the table. Baxter stops in his tracks when he sees Paige. "Paige, this is Baxter." "Baxter, this is Paige," I announce. Baxter turns red and he starts to stutter, just trying to say hello. Sir and I get a big chuckle out of this because it looks like Paige who is going to have the crush. "And this is my little brother Tiernan, otherwise known as the famous ringmaster of his great circus." Tiernan lights up when he sees Baxter. "You are so tall," Tiernan says as he studies him. "Yes, Tiernan, I am, and it is a pleasure to meet you." Without any suggestion from anyone, Tiernan retrieves his step stool and brings it up close to Baxter. He stands proud and gives Baxter a hug around his waist. Baxter's face flushes red again. With a smile that I have never seen before, he looks happy and relaxed. Out loud I say, "I think I need that stool to stand beside everyone." And we all start to laugh as the fun begins. After we've had a snack, it is time to take Hemingway and Sky Charles for a walk. "Who would like to come out for our daily walk?" I ask. Limerick and Charles are sitting and talking with Paige, so those three are deciding to stay in. Mom and Sir are going to get supper started, which leaves Baxter, Tiernan, and I. "I would like to go," Baxter says. "Me too," Tiernan yells. "Okay, Tiernan, you can come, but no more yelling." Tiernan gets on his rubber boots, which he still calls his circus boots, and we get our coats on. Sky Charles is eager to go. He really enjoyed meeting Baxter. "You are cute in person," Baxter declares as Sky walks up to him. "He can give you his paw," Tiernan, the great ringmaster, announces. Baxter puts out his hand, and sure enough, Sky places his paw in his palm. "Mom, when did that happen?" I ask, as I haven't seen him do that before. "I taught him," Tiernan says proudly. We are all puzzled. Perhaps he does have a calling to be a true ringmaster. Hemingway strolls into the kitchen to make his presence known. He has on a dark green handkerchief, which means, of course, that Skye is wearing the same. Baxter laughs when he sees the two of them together. Finn, you weren't kidding. They do dress the same. Every day, I respond. In the background, I can hear my mom add, they like it. Baxter asks if Hemingway can sit on his shoulder for the walk. If he won't sit on your shoulder, I will, Tiernan says with a big smile. I place Hemingway's harness on him and attach the leash. Before I can finish, he is up and sitting on Baxter's shoulder. There's your answer, I say with contentment. Baxter is astonished and very pleased. Should I bring the hoops? Tiernan asks. No, little man, leave everything here. It's going to be a very quick walk because it's pizza night and Skye and Hemingway really want pizza too. Everyone says goodbye as we exit the kitchen door, out to the yard and down the driveway. Your mum is really nice, Finn, and so are Paige and Sir. Yes, they are really good people, and I know they like your company. It is slow walking with Tiernan as he is walking Skye. What if I piggyback you and you hold the leash from there, I suggest. Okay, Tiernan says with excitement. Baxter helps Tiernan up. We get settled, and then we are ready to go. I must say, though, we are a sight. Baxter with Hemingway on his shoulder and Tiernan on my shoulders walking a dog. It seems to me that Skye is walking quickly just so we won't be noticed. Around the block we go, and as we travel, Baxter asks Tiernan all kinds of questions about how he trains the animals. He goes along with the pretend circus as if it is real. For a moment, the conversation is so convincing that I started to think we did have an actual circus in our backyard. Upon our arrival back home, Baxter pulls me aside to thank me for the invitation. It is great to have you, I say, noticing how Hemingway has the highest view ever. We all laugh as we get Tiernan down, then Hemingway down, and Skye back into the yard. When we enter the kitchen, it appears that everyone is engaged in a happy conversation. There they are, my dad says as he stands up to meet Baxter. He extends his hand and Baxter extends his in return. He thanks my dad for the invitation. I never realized that Baxter's sense of manners was so upscale. Come, you two, pull up a chair and join us. We get our chairs and sit at the end of the table. The conversation flows so easily. Charles is sharing stories of make-believe characters for his books. Since everyone is here, my dad announces, I would like to give a little something to our guest, Edward. I am excited. I know what the gift is. My dad stands, walks over to the drawer in the old cupboard we have. It's an antique dresser, but I call it a cupboard. When my dad returns to the table, everyone is eager to see what it is. Edward, my dad speaks in a soft tone, I have made you this gift because I want to give you something, a small token of my appreciation of the joy that you have brought into our lives. I know our family has greatly benefited from your company. My dad places a wrapped box in front of Sir. With gratitude in his voice, Sir says, This must be the day for gifts, as I have also brought you something to celebrate our friendship and our family. Please allow me to get it from my coat. He walks to the hallway's front entrance closet, where my mom has hung his coat. We are all very thrilled to be witness to this great exchange, and since I know what each gift is, I am bursting, just waiting for the two to open them. After a brief moment, Sir comes back with a small box in his hand. I am intrigued and confused, because it isn't the peacock feathered pen. The box is way too small. He hands the box to my dad as he sits down in front of the gift my dad has presented him. Who goes first? Tiernan speaks up. Sir should open his gift first. He is our guest, I say. Before Sir picks up the wrapped box, he thanks us for all our company. He makes a speech as if he's had it rehearsed, but I know he doesn't. He is just very good with words and being grateful. Please open your present, my mum gently whispers. Sir, with a big grin, holds the small box. He gently shakes it and asks if it's a new bike. We all laugh. Tiernan groans and strikes his forehead with his hand. It's too small for a bike. Everyone laughs once again. It is so nice to see my friends all having such a great time. Finally, Sir gently unwraps the box. My mum has tied a bow with satin ribbon to it. This must be your creativeness, he says as he leans over to kiss the back of my mum's hand. The unwrapping is more dramatic than the gift itself, I think to myself. Sir lifts the lid and exposes the elegant box my dad made to house his pocket watch. He lifts the wooden box out of the wrapped box and holds it in his hands. This is extraordinary, he whispers. Everyone sighs at this magnificent sight. Look at the jewels on top, Limerick says as she can't seem to take her eyes off the beauty. My dad shares with everyone where the wood is from, the parts of the world, and he shares how the stones were from his grandmother. Sir opens the box and inside, my dad has placed a handwritten note. Sir removes the note and as he reads it, we can see a tear forming in the corner of his eye. When finished, he gazes at my father and says, "Today is a perfect day for a perfect gift." Everyone agrees, and you can feel the love in the air. It's obvious the note is personal. Words shared between men, friends, family, for they are everything to each other, and it shows. Now it's my dad's turn. I don't wrap as beautifully as Violet, but for an old man, I think I did okay. Everyone smiles. Everyone is eager to see what the gift is. My dad holds the box in his palms and searches for a corner to remove the paper easily. Tiernan impatiently speaks up. Dad, come on, what's in the box? With a twinkle in his eye, Dad replies, I can take as long as I want. Maybe I'll open it tomorrow. Everyone moans. Then my dad says, there is no way I could wait until tomorrow. Do you think it could be a bike? We all just sit, eagerly waiting. Sir laughs gently as my dad removes the paper. It is a jewelry box, one that I don't recognize from the old trunk. My father opens the tiny box, and as he removes the cover, a brilliant light shines. My father simply stares into the box in disbelief. I couldn't possibly accept this gift, my father says, wiping his own tear away. Sir places his hand on his shoulder and says, it is a rare diamond, just like you. I can't believe it. Sir has given my dad the diamond that dances in the light of the sunshine. This diamond is a representation of your brilliance, a representation of union. It is for you to have, to hold within your heart, and to think of it as money in the bank. My dad removes the brilliant stone from its box, and my mother gasps at the sheer beauty of it. That is one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen, my mom says as she studies its magnificence. This diamond found its way to me, and now it has found its way to you. I don't know if I can accept such an extraordinary gift, Edward. Sir looks at my dad and says, "You have a beautiful family, and you are my family now. I was alone before we discovered one another. Who better to give this stone to? I want you to hold it for as long as you like. I also want you to sell it when the time is right, and when it is, you will live in comfort. I have no idea what the value is on the diamond, but it sure is an extraordinary gift." My dad and Sir stand and hug one another. Everyone cheers and claps. "Do we get cake now?" Tiernan asks. "No cake, little man, but we do get to make pizza," my mom shouts in delight, her voice full of celebration. The evening is a great success. My little brother can't decide who to sit beside, so he keeps moving around, first sitting close to Limerick, then Charles, then Baxter. My little brother does very well playing the games. I do believe he is smarter than his age. My dad is the scorekeeper and final judge. Everyone is having such a great time that the evening goes by very quickly. "Time to take everyone home," my dad declares. "We'll get our coats on," Limerick says. As everyone gathers at the front entrance closet, I have a sense that not only are we family, we are good friends, and good friends are just like family. Limerick, Charles, and Baxter, they too are my family. We all jump into the truck and away we go to deliver each person home. Upon our arrival back home, it is just me and my dad left in the truck. We pull into the driveway all the way to the back where his shop is located, and I can sense something. I hear my heart voice say, "Ask your dad what's on his mind." "Dad, is something on your mind?" Dad puts the truck in park and rests his hands on his legs. The headlights are still on, shining on the door of the shop. He stares ahead. He looks bewildered, but not really. Content, but not really. Perplexed, but not really. I don't think I have ever seen this look before. "Son, I am overwhelmed by the generosity that has been shared with our family. It's something to look back and see how everything unfolded. It wasn't too long ago we had no idea the man living in house 29 was our family. Now he has blessed us with an extraordinary gift. It just makes me wonder how it all works." My heart voice whispers, "Think good thoughts and good things arrive." Dad, you always think of good things, and you always do good things. Perhaps this is a thank you for all you have done to help people over the years. Maybe, just maybe, it is to show you that when you are giving of all that is good, you are open to receive all that is good in return. "Oh, Finn," my dad says, looking at me, wondering when I'd grown up enough to have a conversation such as this. He places his hand on my shoulder and asks me to never change the beauty of my heart. I smile and reply, "Don't change who you are, Dad." We sit in silence. It feels really good. We sit, watching the shadows that are being cast along the side of the furniture shop. It is as comforting as watching the car lights go by on the ceiling. Watching these shadows with my dad is a moment I know I won't soon forget. Eventually, we go inside the house. Mum and Paige are cleaning up, and Tiernan has been put to bed. Sky, Charles, and Hemingway have found their place in the kitchen. or my dad has asked us to pull up a chair. We sit quietly and my mom places her hand upon his. "This has been an extraordinary evening," my dad says. "We have been given a gift of such kindness. I'm not sure what to do." We sit there, understanding the gift is much more than my dad can comprehend. He stares outwards, not looking at anyone. With a gentle voice, he asks us to give gratitude for all we have received and all we are able to give the gift of kindness to a stranger, to give of our time, to listen to others, to be caring and cautious of our words when feelings are involved, and to always show compassion to others and towards ourselves. You can tell my dad is overwhelmed with the kindness that he has just received, that perhaps he is deep in thought, thinking of how the big picture really works. My mom gets up from the table. Paige and I follow. We know that my dad needs some space to sort out his thoughts, maybe just to sit in a quiet moment and reflect. "Good night, Dad," I say as I pick up Hemingway and Sky at my feet. "Good night, Mom. Good night, Paige. Thank you for making my friends feel special and welcome." Paige looks at me, and before she can playfully tease me, her words stop. She ponders instead and says, "Finn, I wouldn't want you to be anybody else," then quietly leaves the room. My mom and I look at each other, wondering where those words came from. But after my dad sharing, perhaps she understands that saying something kind is the best thing to do.